Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Bug Warrior. In today's video I will show you how to defeat Tavakai, who is the final boss in Act 4 of Path of Exile 2. This guy is the most difficult boss in the campaign if you ask me, so prepare for a long fight that has 3 phases. I recommend that you are at least level 56 or higher before attempting this, unless you've got a very powerful build. But most important, you need to have both life and mana flasks that generate charges automatically, or else it is literally impossible to survive. In order to find Tavakai, sail first to Ngakanu Island, and you will need to fight your way through 2 of the biggest and most difficult maps in Path of Exile 2, Ngakanu and Heart of the Tribe. So take your time, explore every corner and move forward until you reach the Sacred Interior. Here you will find Tavakai, the Chieftain, and this will begin phase 1. This is the easiest phase, and honestly your goal is to move to the next phase without using your flasks, if possible, because you will need them later on. Tavakai's attacks are really simple at this phase. He will use his axe mostly to deliver physical attacks. Luckily you can evade these attacks easily since he is very slow, and use the momentum to counter-attack. He has a big attack where he creates jade crystals that later on will explode, so just move away from them, avoid the explosion, and this is another good opportunity to counter-attack. The key to clear this phase as quickly as possible is to dodge the attacks and counter-attack so you can continue stacking damage. If you don't stop around the 150,000 mark, he will stop attacking and transform to Tavakai the Fallen. When the transformation happens, a shockwave will hit you and throw you to the ground, and this will officially begin phase 2. Follow Tavakai the Fallen to another arena where you will find Makoro in an altar, and here's where the true fight begins. During phase 2, Tavakai is way stronger, he will regain his health bar, and on top of that he has new attacks that deal a lot of damage, so let's look at them. His first attack is a rain of jade spikes that appear after he swings his axe to the sky. This attack will cover the whole arena, so try to see where they will land and avoid being hit. He can also summon between 3 to 5 jade statues that when they come near you, they will explode, dealing AoE damage. Another big attack happens when he says, "Lend me your hunger, father of chaos." A big blood puddle will appear on the ground and he will stomp it to deal AoE damage. Then we have some blood tentacles that spawn from his hand when he says weakness becomes you. If the tentacles get you, they deal shock, ignite and a fire resistance debuff to you. Another big attack at this phase, it happens when he says unleash yourself, Balako. He will slam his axe into the ground and create several waves of jade spikes that will rise up at you. The best way to avoid this attack is to actually move close to Tavakai, since the attack covers the rest of the arena. The problem with this phase is that he combines the attacks, so there is really no exact time to counter-attack, and I couldn't figure out the pattern since there are moments when he casts the waves of jade spikes and then summon the jade statues, followed by the blood tentacles, followed by the rain of jade spikes again. It almost feels as if everything is happening at the same time, so it's pure chaos. I found that I had to deal damage, stop, then run away to survive, then come back again to attack, and of course the problem of doing this is that you never get to stack damage, but this is the only way to survive. At this moment it's also very valuable that your flasks gain charges automatically, as I mentioned. If it wasn't for this, after a few combos I would be dead already. Anyhow, continue the fight, and soon enough Tavakai will reveal his strongest attack at this phase, which is Aid Me, Daughter of the Moon. Here a massive beam of light or ice will hit the ground for a few seconds. If you get hit, chances that you die are very high. Continue dealing damage to him, and Tukohama himself will tell Tavakai that this is not the way. Tavakai will reply saying that why does he reject him, and this will begin the last phase. Tavakai will transform to his final form, which is Tavakai the Consume. He will regain his health bar again, yes, this sucks, and this is the most difficult phase. His first attack is a weapon combo attack that culminates in a series of lip slams. You need to evade these attacks and don't try to counter-attack. He has another attack where he opens some rifts and shadow dragons spawn from them. They are clearly from another dimension since you can see the stars inside the rifts. The dragons will hit the ground and more of these rifts will open. They debuff you, so stay away from them. Next he will cover the whole arena in green flora. If you stand in it, triggers Tahoa's forest debuff, which basically reduces all your damage while you are standing in it. The only safe zone is at the middle of the map, where Tavakai most likely will be. There is another new attack at this phase where he raises a series of blood crystals on the ground that will explode. If you are thinking of going to the middle of the arena, think twice, as Tavakai conjures a small sun that rises and explodes right there. The explosion will leave a smaller sun and burning ground. Once the sun hits the ground, it will deal a lot of AoE damage. I believe you need to be far away at the edge of the arena to avoid it. I failed and almost died, as you can see. If all these attacks weren't enough, he can also summon a volcano that erupts, so you can see why this fight gets so crazy. Of course, the more you deplete his health bar, the more attacks will appear and the more difficult it gets. The real problem is that you can't continuously attack, and this is why it becomes so difficult to defeat him. You need to basically survive and wait for a moment when things sort of calm down and counter attack. Then interrupt your attacks once again and repeat, while at the same time you don't run out of life and mana in your flasks. Almost at the end of the fight you will notice lightning bolts striking at you. These attacks will shock you and slow you down, making you more vulnerable to all of his other attacks. In the end I ran out of both life and mana flasks, despite having the gaining a charge automatic ability, so I think this is the one thing that will allow you to either win or lose. It is a tough fight, and I think in the end it's also a little bit about luck. This fight truly sucks. When you finally defeat him, Tavakai will ask what he has done, the Hooded One will appear and Tavakai will surrender the weapon back to him. The Hooded One will save Makoru and Tavakai will return to his mortal form. Congratulations, you have defeated the most difficult boss in the campaign, so there you have it. Please let me know what you think of this fight in the comments. We reached the end of the video, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far and found the video interesting or useful, please consider to share, like, comment or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.